Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the ILP. My name is Ray Clarkson at Orange Tech, and I'm the current LDC Scotland Chair. I was put into the position last year in June at Newcastle, and under normal circumstances, the chair would last for a 12-month period. Our summit this year in Bristol was cancelled due to COVID, and Kevin Thompson, who's our vice chair, who would have went into the chair, this wasn't possible. So possibly at some point in the future, which the LDC Scotland Committee will decide, the chair will be passed to Kevin, or it may well continue to next year's summit, whatever that may be held. My time in the chair, as I say, should have been 12 months, but it has been extended by our committee. Now, recently the ILP done a survey in which they asked the members what they would like to see at our technical sessions. Now, in these technical sessions, things that came back was BS 5489, the GN22 guidance. They were looking for further discussion, and diversity in EV charging. So these are some ideas of what people are looking for us to do technical papers on. And Kevin Ramsey, our secretary, will maybe speak to you later on in this chat. I'm now going to hand you to our vice chair, our chief executive, Tracy White, who's going to say a few words on behalf of the ILP. Thank you, Tracy.
Thanks, Ray. I think the first thing I want to say to all of the LDC Scotland committee is that I was joking about it with Ray earlier, is that you take on what seems to be quite an innocuous little volunteer role within the ILP, and suddenly something happens like COVID, and you're being bombarded with emails and phone calls and Zoom meetings and team meetings and opportunities to volunteer for us that you maybe didn't expect that you were going to get. So I want to say a huge thank you to Ray and to Kevin and to the rest of the committee that have really helped us keep in contact with the members over the last few months. It really, really is so appreciated. We've got a great staff team at Rugby who have done all sorts of things that I'll touch on in a minute, but without the support and the input from the members, what we've done over the last few months just really wouldn't have been possible. So a huge thank you, Ray and the team. It's much appreciated. I guess really the first thing to say is that I guess you've all had the same challenge that we've had at the ILP, is how do we, in this awful time that we find ourselves in the moment, how do we keep in touch with everybody? So as the ILP, how are we going to keep you informed and supported through your professional careers, which is what we're here to do. It's to make sure that you're all supported with the knowledge and the information that you need to take the profession of lighting forward. So hopefully you've all seen some of the things that I'm about to touch on, and I know we talked about them earlier during the day today as well. One thing that's been a real success story for us, and it's funny to have a success story out of all of this that's happened, is our highlight session. And that's something that happens online every Monday from 3 to 5 o'clock. And we have a very informal drop-in session for any member, anybody in the lighting industry that just wants that opportunity to catch up with colleagues and friends within the industry, just to talk about what's going on for them. So at the beginning of the pandemic, there were lots of discussions about, well, how are things going for you in your part of the world? We've had people on the line from India, from Pakistan, from Dubai, all over the UK. And it was really helpful just at the beginning, as we were trying to find our way through, to talk about ways that we were talking to each other and problems that we were having that maybe people in other parts of the world were having as well. And that's turned into a really lively community. It's brilliant. We quite often have upwards of 30, 40 people all online, all interested in lighting from whichever area they come from, whichever part of the world they come through. And so hopefully we'll keep that going in some form, even when this lockdown period ends. It's been great. For our colleagues that were furloughed over the last few months, on LinkedIn, we have a group called Lighting's Furloughed Friends, where again, it's a informal support network where you can find out what's happening, talk to friends, find out what's going on in the industry. And we've also launched in the last couple of weeks our CV sharing scheme. Unfortunately, along with everybody else in the UK, some people are starting to experience redundancy at the moment as work changes for all of us. So there's now a facility through the ILP website to post your CV, and hopefully employers will see that and engage. And another way that we can help you develop your career at the moment. We've had lots of online training and webinars. So we kicked off way back in early April, I believe it was, with our Atoms training course, which obviously is a big issue for the industry at the moment. We've had webinars on eliminating light pollution. And again, thanks to our volunteers like Alan Howard, who stepped up and helped us deliver that one. We've had a webinar on public spaces post-pandemic. And we've got a webinar, a CPD webinar coming up in September on lighting procurement. So have a look on our website if you fancy coming along and seeing what's going on there. And then we carry on business as usual as well. So hopefully you all had time earlier in the day to hear from Peter Harrison about our online digital training platform that we're launching. We've also got a nice new look website. So if you haven't had a look at that, go along and have a look through and a browse through. Hopefully things will be much easier for our members to find and navigate their way through. For those of you who'd like technical advice, Peter Harrison has launched a technical hotline. So instead of, obviously at the moment we haven't been doing the networking sessions with LDCs, but if you have got technical queries, you can phone Pete and he'll do his best to answer or direct you to somebody who can help. And then on a national level, we've been doing work on still trying to raise the profile of lighting with central government, with devolved governments, and with authorities, because quite often everybody says to me that lighting's the Cinderella service, if you like. So we're still doing that behind the scene work that we always did to try to engage on your behalf with decision makers. One thing I would say to LDC Scotland members is that I'm very keen that we develop that side of work up in Scotland. So if there are particular groups or government departments or associations that you think either myself or Ray should be engaging with on your behalf, please just drop us a line and we can look to take that up for you. I think I've probably waffled on more than enough. So I'm going to hand over to my more than capable colleague, Kevin, to say a few words.
Hi everyone, thanks for attending today for the LDC Scotland room. If you'd like to contact the LDC committee at any time for feedback, ideas for technical sessions, any feedback from any of the surveys that have been recently issued, please contact us back at scotland@ilp.org.uk and someone from the committee will get back in touch with you. Thanks very much for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.